Hey guys, Rexisor here, and welcome to Update Monday on the 6th of January 2025. It is the start of a new year, and as you can see, I've changed my camera position because I have a new monitor. Didn't take long. I updated my monitor. It's 144 hertz. It's 1440p. There we go. That took me a while to get through. And it was a hassle to get the camera working. So it's up there, but it does hang my monitors. So before, I had a monitor there and I had a monitor there. Now I have big monitor there and monitor there because it was actually more like I had a monitor on this angle and this angle, and now I have to have it, because it's a curved monitor, I have to have it straight. I'm also looking at me rather than this, which is unusual. Anyway, hope you guys had a good new year. How's it going? It's sunny here. I might do some spraying later if it doesn't start raining. New monitor. That's just the big update. Within getting this new monitor, have realised I need a new desk. So next week I'll have a new one of those, except not, because it's definitely not a priority, and I've spent enough already. So this is how my setup's going to be for a while, which is good. It's fine. I'm very happy with it, especially with the new monitor. It's good. So yeah, very good stuff. What have I done this last week? Saw a friend, went to a Gama Mass. It was very good. That was basically it. We actually didn't do that much outside of that one time seeing a friend. We've been out, just the two of us, me and my wife, a few times. My wife is leaving, well, hopefully, not because I want to, but because there's apparently some discussion within the business that this might not happen, but she's supposed to leave for a business trip starting tomorrow at like 5 a.m. So if that doesn't go through, she will not, but we have been going out and doing things with the assumption that she will be going on this business trip. So, hey-ho. It means I'm going to be alone for a little while, which will be fine because I have so much shit happening this month, it's actually unreal. A lot of it is to do with just being back in the office and working, and I'm no longer doing bereavement work. I'm now back to doing my regular job, which is fine. I don't really mind it at all. It's a job, isn't it? But there's a lot of Warhammer stuff happening this month, because on the 25th of this month I will be participating in a tournament with my local club. It is an annual tournament, so I am going to be practicing for that, and we'll see if we can beat last year's record. Last year I came 8th. If I can get at least the same, should be good. Last year I did a loss and 2 wins, so we'll see if I get around about that. And then going forward, I'm going to try and do more. Well, I'm going to be participating in a league which starts in February. So basically it's just 2 big things, but I'm doing 2 different armies for that. Beyond that, I will also be doing my regular Vaesen, which we're doing. Well, we're not doing it this. We're supposed to be doing Wednesday, but we're not. But we are still hanging out and doing things. But Vaesen is a 2-weekly thing. Then this Thursday we are doing session 0 of the D&D that I'm starting, or restarting. But that is going to, hopefully, people will agree, we'll be doing it on Mondays instead. But Thursday is just because Thursday is our usual D&D day. But that means that that will free up my Thursdays for when I have Vaesen on Thursdays without it interacting too badly with anything else. So that's good. And then that means Mondays will be D&D. And Sundays will be D&D. Yesterday we had our first D&D session of the year as a group, as this specific group. Not my first D&D session of the year in all, because that was on Saturday, where me and Hannah went to a friend who runs our in-person D&D, and we had our session. It was a very good session, very fighty, very fun. I'm getting the hang of my character now, which is good. So yeah, that was that. A lot of fights, a lot of good. It's a very different D&D atmosphere, to be fair, but it was good. And then so on yesterday we had our first D&D session, returning, continuing that. The session went well. There wasn't really much. There were a few, like, they've all leveled up, and they've returned to the dungeon that they were at, and they're slowly making their way through it. it's a mop-up, so it's not going to be as challenging, although there are still things there to experience and see, and they have encountered some stuff, but the big story point, which I thought was going to be discussed, and I prepared a lot for it, was kind of skipped over, and it's been pushed to a different, like, for after the dungeon, so... Hey, my players wanted to do more dungeon, they want treasures, that's fine, I don't care. In the end, they were going to do it anyway. It's just that I had anticipated that it was going to be story mode before back to fighting, but I guess it'll just be a longer story mode with no breakups until the next big thing. Players, eh? So session 0 of my D&D will be Thursday, and then the session 1 hopefully will be the Monday. And then this Saturday I have Christmas with my parents and my brother. My family really, minus my wife who is on a business trip. So I'll be seeing my nephew and stuff and spending Christmas with them, because we do Christmas in January just because my parents usually spend time in France and my brother is spending time with my sister-in-law's family. So we separate over the actual Christmas period and then come back in January. Although next year, me and Hannah intend to go to France for our Christmas, so it depends what my brother does, whether or not we'll have a January one next year as well. But that's happening Saturday. So busy week in terms of prep and other stuff. It's just busy stuff, really. But a lot of things, and it feels good because I feel like, especially with a new PC and the fact that I've now remodeled my desk entirely, it feels just like a new start, if that makes sense, which I guess is what you get at the start of a year. You restart the year, you start again. So yeah, it's good. I'm really, really looking forward to putting it to a more competitive level in terms of Warhammer, specifically Warhammer 40,000, although me and Richard have been talking about doing some competitive Warhammer Old World, so we're going to be looking a little bit at that. Might involve Cameron with that as well. On Richard's channel, I saw before doing this that he had posted up the battle report from the battle that we did together. So I'm really looking forward to watching that. We'll be watching that while I have my lunch, whilst this is rendering probably. And it was a really fun battle to play. It was a little bit one-sided. I think I discussed this last week anyway. But the battle report is up if you guys are interested in just looking what it's like, the models that we used and all that thing. It's on Dragonheart's channel, so just have a wander. But yeah, really looking forward to just watching that. I really enjoyed the first one he did. We were talking a bit more about competitive stuff, doing a square-based competition tournament. So, one-day event it should be called, really. So that'll be fun. If we can get to do one of those, that'll be really, really good. If we can have that at the same time as visiting Nottingham, because I think they're based out of Nottingham or Leicester. Not Leicester. There's one next to Nottingham that's nearby. No, it is Leicester. Is it? I can't remember. I don't know geography well. So if we can time that well, that would be really good to get both of those things done at the same time or near enough. That was basically a lot of information in a very quick, rapid succession. In terms of video games, I started playing a game called Songs of Silence, which is it's a... Oh god, what are they called? It's one of those games where you place the units and then they battle, an auto-battler. It's an auto-battler where you also have power-ups, which you play. So, yeah. But it's also... It does have a campaign map similar, very loosely similar to a Grand Strategy Total War-esque, where you have settlements which you capture and you upgrade, and then you hire and recruit units to go into your armies, which you place in a position, and then they auto-battles, and then you have abilities which do things. I played the first 3 campaign levels, and they were really fun, and then I started the 4th, and it was a defense, I'm not sure whether it's basically a time defense. You need to hold until this, but they gave you a completely different faction, and I lost all interest, which really sucks because the game is beautiful. It looks really fantastic. The music is really good, and the story is really compelling. But because the story is really compelling with the characters that I started with, the first 3 levels of the campaign, when it switched to a different character perspective from a different side of the continent, I was just like, I don't like this. I don't like the way that this new faction plays. I'm not used to it. And because you're like 4 levels into the campaign, there's not really that much of a tutorial on how your units work. So I had to learn it, and I was just not doing great. And then I was like, I don't like this anymore. So there we go. I might go back to it at some point. Might not. Who knows? Also, yeah, no, actually, that's basically it. I've been playing a lot of Warhammer 3, which is great. I'm enjoying it. But most importantly, it is now my second game on Steam, specifically on Steam, to hit over 500 hours played. I have a lot of games that I've played over 500 hours, but before it was Steam, and they're on console, and blah-de-blah-de-blah. I know a lot of people will be like, 500 hours, those are rookie numbers. But when you have... I feel like a lot of people have a lot of hours on one game, whereas I tend to have a lot of hours in the scheme of things. They're like 150 plus on many games. So for me to hit 500 on a game is pretty like unlikely. So the fact is Warhammer 3 is surprising to me, because when it launched, it certainly did not think it was going to be like that. But I don't know, I really enjoy the game. Nothing wrong with that. What surprised me is that Crusader Kings 2 is the first one, is 514, and it's definitely going to get surpassed. So well done, Warhammer 3. You've created a game that I play a lot, although I don't even either way, I've nearly fully I've got all the achievements basically, but I'm sure the more is released, the more I'm going to play anyway, because they've got some really cool plans. Well, the rumours are really cool plans ahead, which are very obvious from a Warhammer fantasy enjoyer in terms of the story. There's a Thanquol in there that'll definitely be played. There's a Nagash in there, which will be really fun, but just gotta wait for that to happen. And beyond that, I played a bit of Marvel Rivals. I played it with Cucumber and Key and Hunter. Is that Hunter? Yeah. Yeah, really, really fun. Really want to play some more. Just poke me if you want to play. I really like Marvel Rivals. I used to play a ton of Overwatch. Overwatch is a game that I 100% have over 500 hours of, but it's not a Steam game, so it won't show. And fuck reinstalling Battle.net just to check. So there we go. Yeah, basically it. That's what's coming up ahead in the week. That's what's happened in the last week. It doesn't feel like a whole lot, but it was. There was a lot of information crammed very quickly. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week ahead. I will see you next week for the second Update Monday of 2025. I hope the holiday period was kind to you all, that you had a refresh. If you haven't had a refresh, sucks, and hopefully things will get better. If last year wasn't your year, then I hope this one is. If last year was your year, then I hope that this is just a continuation of that. And yeah, have a good time. Have a good one. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.